kids may be involved in. And in high school, a lot of these students get to practice and train these skills through a myriad of competitions, like you guys have probably heard DECA, but there's other ones that we want to introduce to you guys today: FBLC, Prosper. All of these competitions are very difficult, but they are so important if you want your child to grow their skills. That's how a students grow their skills, is through competition, through training, and by improving over time. Now, the reason why we are creating this, why we're trying to bring this to life, is because it does a lot for the students and the community. They get to learn more about business as a whole. They get to grow a deeper understanding of what business is, so that when they eventually go to university, they know the options that they have. They get to participate in competitions. We actually had a few students compete in internationals just last week. And a lot of these students get the chance to fly around the world to compete against other countries. And it's a really good experience. I've had dozens of students come back to me and tell me that this was one of the best experiences they've had throughout the entirety of the high school. And at its core, we want them to learn, we want them to understand, and we want them to apply all of their knowledge in real world settings. So the way that we design our courses isn't just content, but it's a lot of application, learning how these business concepts really work in the real world. Now, at Linky, this is our core mission, but our goal is to help students win tournaments. That's obviously why we help to train them, is because we want them to win. But it's a little bit more than that. We want them to be able to think critically. We want them to be able to be problem solvers, and we want them to be the next business people in the world. All right. So in order to achieve our mission, we have this fun little acronym that we want to show you guys, and it's DECA. In our business department, we have two main goals, and the first one is to define and explain. When a student comes into our classroom, we want them to be able to understand concepts, be able to get the definition down, and be able to explain it to somebody else. But part two, the missing part that we really like to focus on, is the C and the A. We want them to be able to communicate. In our business courses, students really need to learn how to communicate with other students and communicate all of their ideas and application, understanding how that information applies in the greater setting. So when your child enrolls in a business course, they can expect to define, explain, communicate, and apply all of their knowledge.
Now, that's kind of the background on what we do and what our business department was for. But like Jonathan mentioned, in our courses, we want to focus really on those two pieces: defining and explaining, and then communicating and applying. And so I'd like to walk everybody through exactly what do we offer at its core. So in our department, we currently have two major course focuses. We have case competition courses, where they prepare students for case competitions such as DECA, FBLC, Prosper Ontario. We'll go through an entire list later. And we also have investment courses, which is a brand new section of this department that primarily focuses on investment-focused competitions like the Wharton Investment Competition itself. And these competitions tend to be a little bit more long range and long term. And so they are fundamentally a slightly different style of course that we're offering as well. And just to make sure that everybody's aware, our courses also cover Ontario Education Ministry aligned curriculum to further enhance student learning. Our goal is to make sure that whether students are in these courses for competition or for school, everybody can find some level of success with us. Now, the specific case competition courses that we are approaching. We took a look at the end of this year, just again, like a week ago, as the kids were coming back from internationals, and we asked ourselves, how can we get these kids into more competitions? How can we get them more engaged? How can we get them active all year around? And so we have identified 5 separate competitions over the course of an entire school year that we are going to be consistently participating in. So students who are in our case competition courses have year-round chances to demonstrate their learning and show off their skills all around the world. And so let's go through the timeline, and each of these names is going to pop up all over again. So we are with the students every step of the way. In 2026 August, and this is next year's framework, we are going to be undergoing chapter registration for LinkKey FBLC. So we are going to be registering as a formal chapter, and we are going to be able to take students to the competition. In fact, I had the wonderful opportunity to actually help the students this year at FBLC, and it was an amazing opportunity downtown where students get to compete in small teams or alone. They get a nice day downtown to actually dress the part and compete with professional judges in industry, and they get to show off all of the knowledge they've learned. In September, we go forwards with DECA entrance exam preparations. We know, and a huge concern about this is that a lot of schools across the York region and in Toronto are starting to come out with entrance exams for DECA school clubs. Now, unfortunately, LinkKey is not able to open its own chapter, but we are able to support the students in their pursuit to enter their school teams. And so in this manner, students have multiple options for competition. They can compete with their day school, they can compete with us, and they are kept flexible as possible so they can have as many chances as possible. So all throughout September, we are preparing students for those entrance exams, and that leads right into November, where we're going to be prepping them for DECA regionals. And that is the first tier of competition, and usually the first taste that students get of competition. And so this early semester is jam-packed and full of us trying to make sure that our students have the baseline knowledge, and our students making sure that they have enough preparation done so they can find success in the early stages of each competition. Now, as we move forwards into the remainder of the year, we start to look at second semester, and the schedule just gets busier from here on out. So in February of 2027, next year, we will be having DECA Provincials. Hopefully, we have many of our students go to DECA Provincials, and historically, we've had pretty much every single student enter this stage fairly seamlessly. After DECA Provincials, we enter FBLC National Leadership Conference. This is the competition that LinkKey is going to take a chapter for, or two. And this is the chapter that all of your students are going to be a part of. All of your children, if they're in one of our classes, they will be in our chapter, and we'll be able to give them a chance at this National Leadership Conference. Moving forwards into April, we have Prosper Ontario case competition. This year was actually their very first year of competing in Ontario, and so next year when we get the chance, we are going to be there. In May, we have the Ivy High School case competition, and I can just keep going and going and going. In May, we have DECA International Conference. In June, we have Rotman Commerce. This is the boardroom. Rotman Commerce is a very famous university program specializing in commerce and business. And then finally, in 2027 of July, we have FBLC Internationals. And the list just does not stop here. Every day, we are looking for more opportunities for our students to go through these competitions. And so the core idea is, with these three slides, we want to show that we are giving as many chances as possible for these students. The core idea of all of this is to make sure that students have the opportunities to find success throughout the year, that they have a chance to apply their knowledge. We've known from practice and from experience that knowledge is, not very students aren't very receptive of knowledge unless they get a chance to actually use it, unless they get a chance to apply it, to play with it, to actually compete with it. And so that's why we've designed our courses, and we've revamped our entire department to be structured around these events, to make sure that there is no month where a student has nothing to do from us. Now, moving forwards, I also want to outline a bit of our curriculum. So, we have all these competitions, that's fantastic, but how exactly are we going to teach the students to succeed? So, some of you may have been to the business seminar a little while ago, but if you haven't, this is the curriculum that we take at the business department, especially for the case competition courses. We have divided our curriculum into 4 broad units, and we utilize the clusters in DECA simply because DECA is the largest competition, but I want to assure everybody now and firmly that this curriculum covers all bases. We don't just reference DECA, we've incorporated ministry materials, we've examined other competitions, and this is the most streamlined curriculum that we have. Come on in, please. Hi. Now, as you can see, every unit has multiple overall expectations, and we try to make sure that we have a little bit of content in every single unit of study that the kids can possibly experience. And this is to make sure that they have a very well-rounded foundation. Now, of course, this is a little bit too much detail for the time that we have today, but I just want to show everybody the planning that goes on behind the scenes to actually create our courses. Every course we deliver and every course we actually provide is based off of these units and these areas of instruction. And we purposefully plan these to make sure that no matter what competition the kids go to, they all have a chance to apply this knowledge. Now, aside from the case competitions, we have another entire half, which are the investment competition courses. These investment competition courses are entirely brand new, and we're fielding them for the first time next year. And we wanted to field this for a very long time because investment is such a prevalent topic, and especially for students as they're getting older and as they're starting to, enter into high school and beyond, they're going to be encountering questions like, where do I invest my money? How do I invest? And what does that even mean? And so we've created new courses to tackle these questions specifically. Not only are we addressing the curriculum here, though, we are also planning on sending students to competitions like the Wharton Investment Competition and the Target Alpha Investment Competition. These investment competitions tend to be longer period, they tend to be full year, and they are a long-term commitment. And so we want to make sure that we give our students the chance, the opportunity to find success in these competitions as well. Our current plan is to make sure that no matter who is in these competitions, they have a team that they are ready to compete with, and they have an advisor that can guide them and teach them and instruct them throughout the year. And within business department, all of our instructors are fully qualified to lead these discussions on investment, on how to invest, as well as to deal with the case competitions, the presentation halves, and all other areas of content that the students might need. Now, going into the future, we have some ideas for expansion as well. Our investment curriculum is being developed, and we have a number of emphases on practical applications. We want to make sure that students walk out of the investment courses, not just knowing a bunch of buzzwords, but actually understanding what does it mean to invest? What does it mean to work with money? And so quite a lot of our ideas involve focusing on investment vehicles, common investment strategies, tips, and tricks. We talk about metrics used to track investment performance, to build a portfolio, and to ensure that future growth is high. And we want to make sure that we give students enough practical experience on the stock and trading markets to actually be able to make their own decisions into the future. At its core, all of our ideas are revolved around building student agency. We want to make sure that students have a chance of building the future that they want with our support. Now, what comes next? So that's pretty much all of the concrete content I have, but I just wanted to share with all of you some of our goals on future growth. So moving forwards, we would like to find even more opportunities for students to compete and showcase their knowledge. We want to make sure that we secure more resources so that students have whatever they need at their disposal. And we want to add more student voice. We'd actually love to get students involved. And this is another huge growing area of our program. We don't just want to have students come in to, take a course and be done with it. We want to make sure that they're thinking about their futures as they're in these courses. We want to make sure we give them chances for leadership. Quite often what we have even now, as we have senior students with us who have competed over many years, they have the chances to become TAs, to explore their knowledge further, to seek out more volunteer and job opportunities, and to really get involved with our program as well. And so we want to make sure that we meet every student's needs wherever they are. So that wraps up just about all of the content that I have right now, but I'm sure there are questions out there. So I'd love to take some questions if there are any. If you're online, please feel free to leave them in chat. I'll take a look. And if you're here, please feel free to let me know.
Quick for this is for the DECA and all the investments, right?
This is for DECA investment in FBLC, yes.
For DECA is because they need to be with their school.
Yes.
So for the finance part, they changed quite a bit of this year, right?
Yes. So this is with regards to the finance cluster for students.
They have specifically for the stock competition previously.
Yes. So
it's a very beginning of September. It's like just right after the registration.
I am familiar with a couple of events in DECA that are based around stocks and finances more. There are quite a few competitions in DECA that are not case competitions, but rather more presentation style or build a portfolio like the ones that you are mentioning. So I would suggest likely courses that revolve around the investment competition courses. We will be tackling those as well. So the list is not limited to Wharton Investment and Target Alpha Investment.
Yes, but
Mhm,
as you mentioned for Wharton,
mhm.
for Wharton is, I heard they have to be with the teammates has to like enroll in the
Within the same school. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
these
Yeah, so I was looking at that too. And so actually this is a big topic for all of our competitions because there are limitations to the chapters that we are able to send and we are able to field. So we have settled on a hybrid model. For Wharton Investment Competition, they actually do allow homeschool teams and independent private tutoring teams. That's with permission. So very early on into the summer, once the Wharton investment executives are confirmed, and once they have their leadership team set up, I'm going to go reach out to them and I'm going to see if we can set up a linked key chapter, just like we are doing with FBLC. So the goal is to have a chapter in as many competitions as possible. And so we will know very early on before September whether or not this is a feasible outcome. I do believe that this is possible simply because of the number of independent teams that often are fielded at Wharton Investment. So with regards to this specific investment competition, there shouldn't be too many troubles, but I will just need to get confirmation. With regards to DECA, however, DECA is very, very strict, and this is a little bit unfortunate for us because, yeah, yeah.
and for the target alpha,
Mhm.
what's this would you mind think people give me like a little bit more details of
Of course, yeah. So Target Alpha is a kind of a homebrew competition. It's from Canada and it's very similar to Wharton Investment, where students build a portfolio of stocks and trading. And over the course of the year, I believe they host it on Investopedia. They use that vehicle to actually do the competition. They see how the students perform over the course of a year with a portfolio. It's very similar to the other investment competitions.
similar with like road maps.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we wanted to bundle them together because we want to make sure that students have a chance to compete in as many as possible. Hopefully, the goal is to make sure that anybody in the investment classes, they have a team and they're able to compete in multiple competitions over the course of 1 year. And that's just as much experience as possible.
Yes, okay, great.
No problem. I see online, are both courses online or in person? So again, thank you for the question. Unfortunately, we are going to keep the DECA classes largely in person. The goal being that, oh, sorry, where is my outline? I think I just skipped it. These. So within this framework, we want to keep the classes as in person as possible. And a large part of the reasoning is because these case competition classes require us to actually have the students, practice their case competition skills. And that involves presenting, creating and developing cases, identifying solutions. And it's a very dynamic competition. And so we want to make sure that students are able to do that in person with paper. In fact, for quite a lot of these competitions, the students are expected to have paper on them to be able to create visuals and to essentially craft an engaging presentation over the course of 10 minutes. And they only have 10 minutes to do this. And so we want to make sure that we are able to deliver the highest possible quality. And when Jonathan and I had that discussion, the highest possible quality was in person. Now, with regards to the investment competition courses, there are still some details we want to iron out. That course may be a little bit more feasible online. And we hope to make these courses as available as possible to everybody. So with regards to the investment half, I will have to get back to everybody about that specific point. Is anybody going to NLC competition this year in July? Ariane is going alone this year from school. Wonderful, linking as a team. So this particular year, we were not able to field an FBLC chapter because we did not have the department set up before, I believe it was August for the deadline. So this is a very new venture for Linked Key. Rest assured, though, this is something that I will be taking care of over the summer. It's very similar to all of the other competitions where right now a lot of these competitions are chaired by high school students. So we want to make sure that all of the leadership teams cycle through and the new leadership team comes in. And the minute they do, we reach out and we make sure that we have a chapter for next year. In fact, FBLC has a framework set up. So rest assured this will be happening next year. Yeah. What is the location of these courses? Well, we're hoping to field these courses in as many campuses as possible. So we have this Markham campus right here. It's right across from Unionville High School on Town Center Boulevard. We also have the North York campus down by Consumers Road, right at the intersection of the 404 and the 401. We also have a Mississauga campus. I don't remember the address off the top of my head, but it's close to the border of Mississauga and Oakville. And hopefully we are able to field more courses in more campuses in the future. I unfortunately cannot speak to how the timeline, the specific timeline with regards to that. Yeah.
Well, let me add a bit more information on this one. The DACA courses are offered during the summer in all three campuses. And for Markham, which is where Chris is currently at, we have the DACA offered on Tuesday from 5 to 7 p.m. and Friday also from 5 to 7 p.m. And that's for DACA level, I believe level 1, boot camp 1, and then the boot camp 2 is on Monday and Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for Markham. For North York, we have the level 1, 2 offered on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and then DACA level 3 offered on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Mississauga, we have DACA level 1 offered on Monday and Wednesday from 5 to 7, and then DACA level 2 offered on Monday and Wednesday from 7:15 to 9:15. For all the details, course schedules, you should be able to find them on the Linky website, linky-online.com. So everything, all the course information is on the website. So feel free to check them out. I just want to say something before we come back to the Q&As. I want to say my camera is broken. Okay. So I want to say the business, as Chris just mentioned, as we can see, the demands are going up. 2-3 years ago, if we look at all the undergraduate majors, if you look at the distribution, the business and commerce majors, I believe it was around 9% of all majors, like 3 years ago. Right now, I think the percentage should be around 15. I don't have the latest number, latest statistics for 2026, but then as soon as the number comes in, we will try to share with you guys. But I believe it should be around 15%, right, of all majors. That is clearly going up, clearly a increasing demand for all the business program. If your children are interested for future business related major, doesn't have to be business school, right? Business related major can be finance, marketing, accounting, economics, right? All that related majors. And I would highly recommend that, they should do something and try to build their profile around the big business program. So DACA is obviously one of them. FBLC, as Chris mentioned, business case competition and investment competition. There could be entrepreneurship competition coming up as well. That is going to be offered by Linky for the second half of 2026, right? The other thing I really want to say, I highly recommend students try to make the best use of your summer. Because I know people want to relax, right? People want to take some time off, really want to relax. Obviously, you deserve a time off, right? You deserve some, relax. But don't spend the whole summer to relax, right? Don't spend the entire 2 months to relax. I would say if you really wanna do something around business, try to spend your summertime wisely. I would recommend maybe you should try to do some, DECA courses or business courses around the summer, and it just get you guys a head start before the fall semester starts. As mentioned, the DECA courses are offered through three campuses around GTA, right? Markham, North York, Mississauga. I'm sure you will find the time, you will find the class that's suitable for your availability and your geographic location. Once again, try to do something and try to make the best use of your summer. Back to you, Chris.
Thank you, Henry. Actually, that's a really good point. I'd like to build off of what Henry was saying, and I'll get back to the questions in just a moment. But business is definitely a rapidly growing sector, and part of the reason why it hasn't been as visible in the past is just because business careers are often very abstract. I want to share a short story about a couple of friends of mine. I've had about 3 or 4 friends enter university with me, and we were all in life sciences. Life sciences or health sciences, and most of them were on track to become, I believe it was doctors. And I have exactly 0 friends who are now doctors. But every single one of them has pivoted into banking, into financial analysis, into investment, into quantitative analysis, into all of these other business fields that we simply didn't know existed when we were in high school, because these careers, they sound so far out there, but business is truly a fast and growing world. When we think business, we think of a person in a suit and tie, but that isn't the full picture. We have people working as consultants downtown, financial consultants who advise on other companies. So I have friends who are investment specialists. We have friends who are risk actuaries, and they perform assessments of risk and insurance. I have someone who recently actually just moved into TD Insurance and took up a position as an insurance adjuster. I even have a couple friends who are in, again, banking, technology services. And so this is a rapidly growing field, and part of something that we want to do is make sure that we're not just sharing these skills and this information, but that we are sharing information about what business leads to. And we want to make sure that these students, regardless of what they want to do in the future, they're making an informed decision. They're making a decision where they know the whole picture, they know what they're walking into, and they've decided, I want to do business. I want to do something related to this field, because again, it's growing very quickly. Now, I do have a question here. Can I state the 4 units on DECA again? Absolutely, no problem. So I'm just going to skip past our long calendar there. So our framework in the DECA curriculum, as we call it, is really larger than just DECA, because we've, as I've said before, we've built this curriculum off of the Ontario Ministry of Education. We make sure that this matches the grade 9 and 10 business course in school. We have also built this with knowledge from other competitions folded in. So the first unit is marketing. We want to make sure that students know what works and what doesn't in terms of marketing, what catches people's eyes, what makes or how do you get a product from start to finish into the consumer's hands. The second unit focuses on business management, and this is the big unit where we cover everything from human resources down to accounting and down to economics, and we make sure that students have a well-adjusted understanding of how the business framework in our world works. Then we have finances, where we try to teach more about accounting, more about the financial documents that can be produced. We want to make sure that students also have a personal financial literacy. And so what that means is, do your students know what an RRSP is? Do they know what an RESP is? Do they know what a TFSA is? Can they invest in GICs, or is an ETF better? And all of these ideas are ideas that we want to talk about, because it's so incredibly important for our students, not just to have an understanding of business, but to be money smart, to know what to do with their money when the time comes. And then finally, our last unit is hospitality, to make sure that students have an understanding of psychology and psychosocial patterns, to but to have an understanding of how people think and how to communicate with someone, how to make sure that in a job interview, what are the strategies you can use under the table to make sure that the interviewer is thinking of you a certain way. And so these are the 4 units of study. And hopefully what I've been able to communicate is that these 4 units are very general, very generalized, very broad. We want to make sure we cover as much information as possible within our courses so that when students choose to specialize, they are ready to do so. A good example of this is we offer also an AP economics course, AP macro and microeconomics. And it's taught by a set of wonderful teachers here. And we want to make sure that our courses are personally making sure our students are ready to then approach AP micro and macroeconomics, especially because nowadays I see quite a lot of students taking these AP exams in grade 9 or 10 very, very early on. Who will be teaching at the North York location, and are the teachers the same across different locations? I can address this all at once. So both Jonathan and I are teachers for DECA and for pretty much every every course under this umbrella of business department. I'm mostly based up here in Markham, and Jonathan is mostly based down in North York, but occasionally we will switch courses and we will take each other's courses. Sometimes I'm down in North York and today he's up here in Markham. We are also actively looking for more teachers. We have more teachers ready to go as well. And so currently, I don't know exactly what the staffing situation will look like in the fall, in September, but I can assure all of you that all of these teachers that we are bringing online are teachers that both Jonathan and I have sat down with, both Jonathan and I have vetted, and we've spoken with them. We've made sure that they teach the same way we do, that they deliver the same quality as we do. Really at its core, we want to make sure we have a dedicated set of instructors, and currently we do. And it's a fantastic situation that I personally find myself in because all these wonderful people are able to help our students succeed.
Can I jump in here really quick? Sorry, Chris. So I want to say something. 我用中文讲哈，因为刚刚有家长好像说，能不能用中文讲一下？我快速用中文讲一下。如果大家这个里面听不懂中文呢，你可以 ，if you guys anyone I mean in the audience doesn't understand Mandarin Chinese, just let me know. Okay, you can type in the chat. 因为刚刚有家长希望我用中文稍微讲一下。这个地方就是大家问老师哈，老师是这样，就是我们目前呢，刚才 Chris 讲了，那他是我们的这个万锦校区是以 Chris 为主，然后北约克校区是以 Jonathan 为主，刚刚讲话的那位。我们的密室校区呢是以Jun 老师为主哈。那Jun老师呢，本身他除了教 DECA 之外，他还教我们的2门 AP 经济学哈 ，AP 宏观经济跟 AP 微观经济。然后他是 Queen's Commerce， 就加拿大最好的这个 Business Program 毕业啊，他非常在商科方面有非常多的这个深耕和建树了。但不管是哪个老师讲，我们的所有的商科的课程都是用 Linky 自己的我们来做的这个标准化的课程大纲了。So regardless which teachers to teach the actual course, we share the same curriculum, we share the same content. The curriculum and content are standardized and were basically built by Chris and Jonathan. 所以他们2位在开做我们的这个，刚才我们讲了我们的这个商科课程主任的一个最重要的工作他们2个就是要开发我们的这个标准化的，而且是与时俱进的我们的所有的这些课程内容，包括课程大纲所以不管是您在哪个校区，有哪个老师来执行在教室里执行这个课程，我们的内容，我们的大纲都是标准化的，都是一模一样的，好吗？那我们回到 Q&A 之前呢，实际上我有一个话题，或者说我有一个问题想问 Chris， 或者说我们可以一起来讨论哈。A question I want to ask you, Chris, or maybe we can discuss, is that we know currently a lot of, jobs or certain industries are in danger because of AI, right? The AI is really interrupting our job market. And a good example is computer science. Right? If you look at the computer science right now, if you look at the computer science 5 years ago, it's totally different landscape, right? The computer science, especially the entry level of programming work, has largely been replaced by AI. My question is, do you think the business or the business related work will someday be replaced by AI as well? 所以我想跟大家讨论这个问题，实际上我也是我自己在思考了。当然我有一些我自己的结论啊，我相信我们的家长们也一定对这个话题很感兴趣。就是现在我们很多就业市场，或者说很多行业都在面临着 AI 的挑战。那最典型的一个例子就是计算机这个行业。计算机这个行业，我们现在非常确定的是说，基本上从初级到中级的程序员的工作是可以被 AI 替代掉，而且这个不是说将来时，这个是现在时，已经被替代掉。那会不会我们的商科类的专业将来或者在某一个时间点上也有可能被替代掉？这个我想我们来讨论一下这个问题，好吗？Okay, so back to you, Chris, and back to the Q&A.
For sure. Thank you, Henry. Yeah, that's a fantastic question to be asking because it's important. You want to make sure that your children are getting into industry that hopefully has a long future so they can make sure they can continue to grow their careers. And a big part of it is this early identification, what's going to be changing. And I'm sure this is open for much larger discussion, and I want to answer some of the other questions as well, but unequivocally, it's not going to happen to business. So business at its core is about people. It's about how we interact with others. It's about how we build these companies, how we build businesses, how we make sure that we take advantage of the opportunities that we're given. At its core, business is a communication. And that is, in my opinion, never going to be replaced by any other industry. And so business has this unique perspective, this unique longevity of always going to be there. And I think that's a wonderful thing because it means that careers in business are in my opinion, fairly stable, I would say, fairly with longevity, I should say. Let me continue answering questions. What are the differences between the 1 week camp and the regular courses? That's a fantastic question. So some of you may have seen on LinkKey's website for registering courses, there are both 1 week courses, 1 week summer camps, as well as the regular weekly sessions that we still hold over the course of the semester. Over the summer semester, sorry. So that would be July to August. So the 1 week day camps are meant as an introduction into DECA. So the instructors in those day camps are there to make sure that your students are introduced into DECA, that they can get the very basics, the very fundamentals down, that they know how to write an exam, run a case by the end of the week, and that they are getting interested in this particular field of business. And so that's also meant for, parents and students who may not be available consistently throughout the summer. Again, like Henry mentioned, it's the summer. I'm sure a lot of people might be going on vacation or going out to different places. So if you have a week to spare, maybe try one of the summer camps. It's a good way of getting a sense of what DECA is like and a good way of preparing for the September exams when they do come in day schools. Now, the weekly sessions are a little bit more traditional, kind of like the weekly sessions we have now. It's simply a continuation where we examine the regular curriculum. We go through all of the exams, the content, the preparation. It's set up like a regular weekly class, except it's only 1 semester instead of 2. And so we'll be going over content slightly faster, but it's largely the same as any other year-based course. And again, the focus is still to make sure that students are able to successfully enter their DECA chapters when it comes in September. And so both of these courses are fantastic opportunities to learn more about DECA, to learn more about business in general. Really, it's just the timing piece that maybe it's more convenient for some of you to do a week. Maybe it's more convenient to steadily throughout the summer instead. I also have a question here. What are the differences between level 1 and 2 versus level 3 DECA? So to answer that question, I'm actually going to pull up an older slideshow. Please give me 1 second. I just need to find it. It's right here. So I would like to bring up this particular graphic from a previous slideshow that we had, and I want to bring it up because this is for DECA and FBLC, but this actually applies to all of our business competitions and the entire case competition course. So if you are or your children are finding themselves completely new to DECA, we're probably talking grade 7 or to grade 8. Not sure what DECA is, not sure what FBLC is. I just want to learn the basics, the foundations. Then I would highly recommend registration into the Level 1 Foundations course. In this particular course, we cover the very basics of every single unit. We make sure that students understand the principles of what builds a DECA case, how to answer a DECA exam, and just a little bit of subject matter in each of the 4 units that we examined previously. Then, if your child or if you are more proficient in DECA, potentially grade 9 or 10, you've done maybe 1 or 2 years of DECA, or maybe you already took grade 9 business and you feel like you have a hang of some of this, you can take L2. So L2 is the proficiency level. We build upon L1 knowledge, we build upon foundation knowledge, we take every idea a step further, and we make sure that students have a chance to really dive deep into some of these ideas. And I'll give a fantastic example for everybody here right now. I can show everybody the actual slides that we use to run these classes because they have already been set up and standardized, and we're simply just cleaning up quite a lot of our content. So I want to show everybody in L1. The slideshow is over 100 slides long, so I need to quickly find it. It is right here. We have a lesson 12. This is the Introduction to Economics lesson. This is how we structure some of the classes. We have the agenda up in the far right corner, and then we go through content. We make sure that students understand what economic resources are, what these words all mean. We do occasional case studies where we have give the students a chance to apply the knowledge to real companies. So we just looked at land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship, and now students have a chance to identify how exactly did Starbucks use all of these to become the global coffee giant it is today. And then we have this section, demand, supply, and demand curve. If it just looks like a bunch of lines, that's okay. It looked like that to me about 2 years ago too. The basic idea is this is the L1 content, very fundamental. We approach it from an angle of let's get the basics down. And this is all we do in L1, just talk about supply, demand, and the curve itself. Now, in L2, we have the exact same lesson, but we take it a step further to make sure that we dive deeper into this content. So I want to show everybody again what that set of slides looks like because it is slightly different. So I'm going to pull it up really quickly. I just need to quickly find it. Right here. So in L2, we have a very similar lesson, very similar set of slides, but this time around, we have an additional piece now. So instead of just stopping where L1 is, we review all the content and then we go further. What is a supply and demand shift? And then we begin to talk about causes for demand and supply shifts, which is much more complex. So the reason why I'm showing this to everybody here is because I want to make sure that everybody understands how we plan our lessons on top of what we're just teaching. We make sure that every slide and every content is purposefully placed. If we explore something in L1, we will revisit it and then go into much more depth in L2. We build upon this knowledge to make sure that students have a well-rounded picture of every aspect that we have to discuss in business. And it's this foundational knowledge that students carry into senior grades, into AP Econ, into all of these other subjects. And as they go and compete, this is what they bring forwards. So this actually continues, and we have an entire worksheet and an entire activity around this where students get a chance to really apply what they're learning. So again, I'm showing this, and it's a lot of slideshows just because I want to make sure that the way we construct these slides is very transparent. And again, if any of you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to Jonathan or I, because we are more than happy to share how we build our lessons and what our thought processes are behind this. I believe one of the main advantages of our department is the ability for all of us to communicate with each other about what exactly are we doing. I want to make sure we have an open door policy. Anybody at any time can come ask me questions or step into my classroom and see what we actually do to make these dreams come true. Now, sorry.
For example, my son took some like extra course for the business or the investment finance, all this stuff.
Mhm.
So how you guys gonna determine which level he's gonna be like if it's not like fully brand new to the course?
For sure. Yeah.
Where are you gonna go?
Oh, I get that because there are some areas where he's explored and some areas where the knowledge might be lacking. So traditionally, what we've done is we've had students come in for a trial class or potentially even for a one-on-one where, and usually I recommend for the trial class, we go down a level. So for example, just start with L1, a trial class. We'll see how he does in the class, what he understands, how much of it, how much of the pacing is okay. Really a big part of these courses, and again, I spent so much time talking about how the content steps up, but another big part of it is the student's attitude. If a student is willing to learn, is grabbing all these ideas really quickly, has seen most of it, there's no reason to hold the student in L1. We will just move them on. So every single case will be a self-assessment where Jonathan and I will sit down with the student, we'll decide, okay, are they ready to move on to L2? Even if they don't have every last idea, they are still eligible to move on to L2 if they're demonstrating that they're willing to learn, they're quick with it, and they're grabbing all these ideas. Because again, we want to make sure that we maximize their learning. If they're able to handle a higher pressure environment, then we will put them into the higher pressure environment. Fantastic, no problem. Level 3 right here is mastery, and this is the only course where we are currently structuring it as invite only. So this is a course where they're done all the content or they've done an assessment with us and we're confident in their skills and we're ready for them to move on. At this point, the students are purely practicing and refining their skills. Just this semester, we had a class of L3 students and all they did year round is practice, practice, practice for every last competition. And I'm really happy to say in our very first year, every single person in that class achieved the top 20. And I think every single person except one achieved the top 10 at the internationals for DECA, all in different events. And it was a fantastic result. Now, of course, we are pushing for much, much higher, but I am incredibly proud of the students this particular year because they absolutely worked every chance they got to do presentations. I had students emailing me presentations in the middle of the night so that I could grade it over a video. So that's what L3 is like. It's a very competition focused course once they're done with the content in the first two levels.
They would grade 10, 11, or 12 or something?
Yeah, for the mastery course, we often find that by the time the students get there, they are closer into grade 11 or 12. We had one student in grade 9 in that class this particular year. She managed to achieve a top 10 finish. I forget which ranking because they haven't released it yet. So there are cases where students are able to move on fairly quickly. And this actually gets to another question. I'm going to come back to the DECA Summer Camp in just a moment. How long does each level of DECA prep last? So we have now fully revamped the entire curriculum. Each course lasts for a full year. And so that's September to June. So students who are in L1 will be in L1 from September to June. We decided to make this decision because it gives us more time to actually go in depth. We found that with one semester, you just cannot cover anything. It's the first day you blink and it's the last week already. And so we want to make sure that students have a chance to really practice and apply on top of actually just go through the content. Remember that key piece that Jonathan was discussing about the DECA framework right here. We want to define and explain. We want to make sure students understand the concepts, but really that second bullet point, we want to make sure they are able to communicate and to apply. Knowledge is no good if you're not able to actually talk to others about it and if you're not able to use it. And so that was the piece that we were missing this past year that we have now fixed by elongating these courses, giving more time. We are even hoping to have these students reach out and conduct real projects in these classes. So one of the projects that Jonathan and I were discussing about running in the fall is a real business case study. At some point, we would like our students to actually go out into the communities, find a small business and shadow them, find out about their situation, understand what really makes this business run. And that is practical for the students as well. I remember there's this one anecdote that Jonathan was talking about. He was in a grade 12 classroom in a Markham high school, and he was talking about how half the kids there, when he asked, they were just not sure what they wanted to do. And a lot of that is because these students don't have a chance of actually seeing what the real world is like, what businesses are like, what jobs are like. And so we want to bring that piece into our classes to give students actual chances of seeing what real businesses are like, what real professions, real jobs are like. And that way they have this knowledge when they go into the future. And so this is again emphasizing that second point. We're not just a competition course. We want to make sure our students win. Absolutely. We're going to send them to every last competition possible. But we also want to make sure that they're prepared for the future. Like Henry was outlining, business is a fast growing sector, and we want to make sure that they are ready for this. Let me come back to the DECA summer camp cost. So the costs are all publicly available on the website. I highly recommend everybody check out the website and the sign up website and see for yourself what the prices are like. And what the course times are like. We also have at every single campus pamphlets and flyers that are available for everyone to take home so you can examine exactly what works in your schedule. We very frequently also have promotions running. So I believe there was an early bird and we have one pretty frequently. And so this is always an option for parents. And if anybody has any questions about this, I strongly recommend give a call to any Linkkey campus or come in and speak to any of the supervisors at the campus, and they will be able to give you all of the information with regards to scheduling, payment, costs, everything. All right. Do we have L3 in the summer? Can we have a tryout for L3? Absolutely. So I do, but oh, hold on. I don't remember off the top of my head if we have an L3 class, but I believe we do. Again, the questions are best directed in terms of scheduling to the supervisors because they will have the entire comprehensive schedule, but a tryout is available for every single class. So if you would like to try out for L3, absolutely, for sure, you can as well. If you made an LC for FBLC, congratulations. Is L3 DECA the most suitable course to take? Yes. If you've made a national competition, chances are what you need is focused practice. What you need is quick feedback. And we are always here to make sure that any knowledge gaps are filled in. You don't necessarily have to put yourself back down to L1 just to get the knowledge. We will more than happy just bring up the slideshow in front of you and show you all that content. So yes, if you've already had some progress in DECA or FBLC, by all means, join an L3 class as well. We'll set you up with a trial class and we'll make sure that we have an assessment of how you are. And again, this applies to everybody. So I was recommending earlier L1, but the reverse is also true. If you believe that you are, you've already done this before, you know what you're doing, it's just a couple areas that you need improvement on, ask for an L3 tryout class. We will find a slot. We will put you in. We will assess. And more times than not, your own faith and confidence is what's most important. And that's what we look for as well. We noticed that the summer boot camp, summer DECA boot camp called L1 and L2. Does that mean student completes with L3 and fall? So this summer is unfortunately a shortened schedule. We are not able to fit a full years of content into one short summer. And we were talking internally about how to actually structure the boot camps. So the L1 and L2 boot camps will be covering content from both L1 and L2, and we will try our best to cover all of it. But the boot camps are also our best opportunity to make sure that everybody is ready for the entrance exams in September, because the entrance exams in September are not necessarily created by DECA. And this is something I'd actually like to share with everybody here. Because Linkkey is not allowed to field a team for DECA, and because high schools have to be the ones to field teams for DECA, this especially is important if your child is up here in Markham or in the WIRE DSP. Almost every single WIRE DSP and YC DSP school has an entrance exam. And not just that, most of these schools have interviews, entrance interviews. That's how competitive it's gotten. And so quite a lot of our time this summer is going to be spent on training. How do you answer interview questions? How do you speak quickly and efficiently and clearly? How do you navigate these entrance exams to make sure that you're doing well? And those skills will take time to build over the summer. So I would still recommend, even if you are in a boot camp, if you are okay, once you're in your school team in September, come back to L1 or come back to L2, because there may be significant gaps in knowledge that we did not cover as a result of our intensive prep. If we take a 1 week camp in the summer, which level should, so that is a similar question where if you're taking a 1 week camp, again, we recommend, like, if you're not sure, you can try registering at L1, because you're always able to, if you feel this is too easy after a week or two, move up with, after some discussion. So again, the idea is to make sure that, the summer is a reduced schedule, and so I would suggest registering back with L1 or L2 in the fall. If we are in the Mississauga location, that's fantastic. So we have June over in Mississauga, who is a fantastic teacher. She is the one who actually teaches all of the AP economic stuff too. And she is incredibly qualified. She went to Queen's Commerce School of Business, and that was the Smith School of Business was a really famous program. And so she is leading all of the DECA there. It works the exact same way. She's also got the L1, the L2. Like Henry said, we are standardizing all of these resources, and we're making sure that you know, she also has these resources and is also able to edit and support the students as much as possible. So all of this discussion that's happening over here in Markham and North York also applies to Mississauga the exact same way. Yeah. What if we are already in our school's DECA club? That's fantastic. I think that if you're already in the DECA club, there's not much holding you back in terms of competing. If you'd like, again, my biggest suggestion is come in for a trial class at any one of the 3 levels. We will sit down with you, figure out what your situation is. Likely cases, if you're already in DECA, you've already made NLC, you're clear for everything. That's fantastic. You can probably just be in L3. And every week we will do more practice. We'll make sure that no knowledge gaps are present. And that way you're able to go even further. All right. That is everything I see in chat. Just the last call. Are there any other questions I can answer?
Let me jump in real quick, Chris. Sorry about that. So I can see there's a question from Vivian, I believe. And she's asking about, we are in Mississauga, how will we commit? So like Chris mentioned, across all 3 campuses, the courses for DECA are all the same. We're sharing the same content, the same curriculum, the same slides, the same lesson plan. It can be, the classes can be delivered by different teachers. Chris Jonathan and Jun Yao, but all of our DECA teachers are well qualified, and they're in business major. They have a tons of business experience, business competition experience. So if you are in Mississauga, I would highly recommend that you try to register, make the best use of your summer, and try to register for the summer DECA courses in Mississauga, and you will be working with June, who is a fantastic teacher, and she is a fantastic teacher, working out from our Mississauga campus. 另外一个问题呢，刚刚我有看到哈，我用中文讲一下了，就是有家长问，北约克的 DECA Summer Camp。是什么样的费用？然后好像还有另外一个家长，叫 Aaron，说 each level preparation course，how long is gonna last？is gonna last。我先说一下那个 camp， 就是我们在北约克的这个 camp， 所有这些信息实际上都是在我们的网站上，所以我们非常鼓励大家能到网站上去浏览我们的暑期课程的所有的信息哈。那DECA 和 LBLC 的这个暑期 camp 在这个北约克我们的商科课程的夏令营分别是8月17号到21号和7月13到17号这2周哈。所以大家如果对这个夏令营有兴趣，我认为你可以在1个星期之内快速的把 DECA 的所有的这些知识能用1个星期的时间，我们叫 crash course， 非常快速的可以帮助你能够切入到DECA 这个赛道当中，然后呢，为你9月份开学之后，不管是你去竞争你学校的 DECA 俱乐部，因为我们知道很多学校的 DECA 俱乐部是非常 competitive 的。因为有的DECA俱乐部还需要你去通过一些测试等等所以去竞争你的DECA 的俱乐部，然后甚至去想办法能够在 regional provincial 这样的比赛当中能够胜出， 这样的话你才可以获取这个 ICDC 就世界锦标赛的资格。那这样的一个夏令营都可以让你快速的切入，然后用1周的时间集中的把这些准备工作再利用暑期啊来做好。所以我是这个很愿意这个建议大家哈，如果你们的时间允许的话，那这2周你看一下你的时间，你可以集中这2周哈，让你自己能够切入，能够很好的去准备具体的价格应该是900多，然后呢，但是包括所有的费用，包括午餐，包括我们的这些零食、水果，然后老师，我们所有的课程的内容等等等等哈，所以你们可以在网上去看啊。那这个 camp 呢是在北约克了，我们在密西沙加也有相应的 camp，但是是在跟 debate 和 Model UN 是在一起的啊，我们是有一个 combine 的一个 camp 啊，包括我们的 debate、我们的 Model UN、我们的 DECA 啊，我们叫 academic camp。那密西沙加的 camp 的时间非常多如果你是年龄稍微小一点，然后呢想有一些初步的了解对 debate、Model UN 和 DECA那也非常欢迎你到密西沙加啊，因为密西沙加的时间几乎整个的暑期都有，但是北约克那个 camp 会更加的专注在 DECA 上，因为它是一个 dedicated 的一个 business camp， 好吧？So the there's one more question coming up. Will the recording of this presentation be made available to us? My son is not able to attend. Okay, yes. We will make the video available and to share with our parents. It won't be made public, but we can share with our parents.
There were a couple of questions.
Yeah, there's another one, Chris. You want to take the question from MacBook, iPhone? The content of these 2 1-week camps are the same or different?
Absolutely. So the content of each 1-week boot camp should be fairly consistent. This is, of course, up to teacher discretion at the end of the day. And this is something that every teacher has an option of because there are different camps. We want to make sure that nobody is missing out on information. We want to make sure that everybody is able to attend and get the information they need. If a teacher feels that 1 week to the next, every group of kids has a different strength, the teacher may choose to spend more time on one idea or more time on another, depending on what they feel that the children's strengths are. And this is something that we actually try to encourage as much as possible in our courses, is that aside from the curriculum that is standardized across all campuses and all classes, we also want to make sure that these classes don't feel like a robotic feel. We want to make sure that the teachers are thinking about the students first, about what they need, what they understand, what they need help with. And so every camp is slightly different in terms of how the teacher runs it, in terms of how the teacher approaches the content. I may even choose to spend more time on, let's say, exams if I find that the group of students in front of me is weaker in terms of exams, but better in terms of public speaking. So that's part of what makes this department work so well, is we are able to adapt. Otherwise, the content and curriculum is, however, standardized. Now, I see we are heading to NLC competition in July. Will there be any boot courses to practice in the last month? So this would be a discussion that has to be held with the supervisors of the campus that you would like to attend for the boot course, as well as the instructors themselves. I do believe that we offer one-on-one for these, especially if it is a more focused class, or if you feel that success is better one-to-one. Otherwise, I'm not sure if we are currently in the works of planning out a boot camp for, I believe, June. But again, one-on-one is always available, and that can always change depending on whether or not the instructor is available. L3 is only in the North York location, not in Mississauga. Will the only for students who want to learn some of the West location? So absolutely, we are absolutely trying to open an L3 in Mississauga. This is something that we are in talks with Jun about, Junyao. to make sure that she is able to support that. Our goal is to make sure there is an L1, 2, and 3 available at every single campus. Again, if there, in the worst of cases, isn't an L3 in Mississauga, we are potentially able to set up private sessions or even just speak to June and see what we can do about that particular situation. As I said before, all of our classes are very flexible, and while the curriculum is standardized, every teacher has discretion to structure however they need. So if we are truly unable to offer an L3 solution, we are able to accommodate to each student individually within the class and still make sure that they would be doing something like L3, even if the official course title is L2. What about the 1 week boot camp? 1 week camp versus the boot camp. So the boot camp again is continuously throughout the summer. It's twice a week. And we are going to be going over more content as well as prepping for the interviews and for the exams. The 1 week camp is I believe simply just actually. Yeah, so the 1 week camp is going to be approximately the exact same because they have the similar hour allotment. And so the idea is every day is just simply a little bit longer for them, and they cover a little bit more content in a single day. They may also do more activities. Now, the 1 week is a bit of a shorter time frame, and I understand there's something to say about students gathering and condensing the knowledge. So after a week, the learning definitely is faster. The 1 week camp may explore more activities, or they may have the freedom to do more long period planning activities, like more presentations within a day because there are more hours to work with. But otherwise, the content is fairly similar, and the focus will, of course, be on practicing for exams and for the interviews in September. With regards to who will be the supervisor in Mississauga, Henry, I believe...
On the screen, I just presented, I just shared the screen of Junyal's introduction. Junyao is the one who is, teaching, instructing the DECA courses in Mississauga. She's specializing in the business programs, DECA, BLA, and economics. So she's the one, who's teaching the business programs in Mississauga.
那我们是怎么联系他呢？是经过小客服还是？
你联系他做什么？你如果是报课的话，你不需要联系他，你直接在我们的网上就可以报课了。
就是我要 L3，还有我要 boot camp，就是我还有1个月要去美国比赛吗？就是我希望帮助
你想要去做这种one-on-one 的private tutoring 对吗？那你联系小客服，对。
好的，谢谢。
没问题。
With regards to the other question, who is going to teach the 1 week camp? That one is taught by Alex. So he's another fantastic. We do not have an introduction for him yet.
I do. Let me find it.
Here, let me stop sharing then. Sorry.
No, you can continue to share. Okay. I'll just find the.
I chat a little bit about Alex while we get the introduction up. So Alex is a fantastic instructor that we have as well. He was actually here last year for the summer camps again. He ran them last year as well. Last year was a phenomenal success over the summer with regards to the DECA camps. All of the students were very, very, very happy about Alex in general, as well as how he teaches. He has the same resources that we do. He goes through the same content that we do, and he brings his own charm to the classroom. So it is truly wonderful to have him with us again. And I do believe into the foreseeable future, he is going to be our 1 week camp teacher over the summers. Currently, he is like in the regular part of the year, he is at university. So unfortunately, he can't join us, but that's why he is here every single summer, because he does have some of his time that he can give to us.
Yep.
I also wanted to show everybody if anybody is having trouble finding the website, not here. So I just wanted to show everybody where you can actually go to book courses, just in case that was unclear before，我想给大家看一看咱们这个 Linky 的网站，完了能在哪儿去注册课？I just Google Linky and it's the very first link. It's linky.com. And then if we click into here, we have the sign up button right here in the corner. And all you have to do is click on the spring and summer schedule. 所以上到网站上这儿有一个按钮能点进去，就是咱们注册的网站. So that's where we go to register all the courses. We'll be selecting 2026 summer. It will prompt you to select the campus. 它会提示你选你在哪儿。So for example, you choose Markham, it's going to pull up that set of courses, and you can see we have all of our courses packed into different sections. So DECA is frequently under mock trial, DECA, and HOSA. So all of our classes are there. These are the boot camp classes. So you can see both of them in Markham are taught by me. And then the summer camps are higher up on the list, right below SSAT, SAT, AP, and IB courses. I don't think we offer AP during the summer, but we do offer AP.
Not during the summer, but in September.
Yeah, in September we have the AP economics courses coming back as well.
We start providing AP preparation courses in September. We just think, getting started for AP in summer is a bit too early, because the actual AP exam is in May, right? By the time of the AP exam, you might have forgotten all the stuff you learned in the summer. So that's why we always start providing the AP courses in September. Yeah, and we have between September and end of April. So 7 or 8 months for getting students ready for the actual AP exams. That's the AP schedule.
Yeah, most of our AP courses are 26 lessons long, and we try to cover all of the content that would be present on the AP classes. If any of your children or if any of you are in IB and are taking IB high-level macroeconomics or IB microeconomics, the subjects are often fairly interchangeable between AP and IB. So it is also a good chance to catch up on IB exams as well. And so it's nice that we're able to offer both of those. And again, like I said before, hopefully the idea is if you are a student in level 2 DECA, you are able to take those skills into the AP courses into the future. All right, I think that's all of the questions. I'm still going to be here for a while if there are any questions, but Henry, if there's anything else you'd like to add?
I don't. 就是有家长还是想让我用中文再快速的说一下，就是我就再用中文再讲一下了。就是整体上来讲呢，大概我用1-2分钟总结一下了。今天 Chris 跟大家分享的内容呢，就是关于我们的商科的课程了。那为什么把商科单独拿出来，我们建一个这个 department 或者我们叫教研组，就是因为大家现在对商科的这个需求，在过去的2-3年当中呈现一个非常明显的上升的趋势。那刚刚 Chris 也在分享他自己对 AI，未来 AI 对各个这个领域的这种影响了。那我个人基本上也完全同意他的想法哈，就是在商科在金融这个行业里面，至少在我们能够看到的未来的不管多少年哈，我觉得这个领域很难被 AI 取代了，因为这个领域有非常多的human behavior communication 等等这些是不太容易被 AI 取代掉的那相反像计算机这种现在目前是确定是至少是初中级的计算机程序员的这些工作是已经被替代掉，所以这个市场也在很快的去反映这些变化。这就是为什么商科的这些专业大学专业这2年的需求变得非常的大，所以我也相信大家很多人都是看到了这一点。那我们也是为了顺应这样的一个变化，我们在加大力度在研发我们的商科的课程。那当然 Linky 的商科的课程主要是针对高中生，就是我们为高中生做更多的准备工作，让他们在高中阶段 不管是对商科领域的这些专业的熟悉程度，还是对这些商科的这些竞赛，有可能在竞赛当中取得的这些成果和成绩，那对他们未来的大学申请，尤其是这些顶尖的商科的学院、商学院或商科的专业的这种申请，为他们带来更多的这种竞争优势。这个是基本上我们要打造这个 Linky Business Department 的一个初衷和目的了。就是你们知道，商科不管是美国还是加拿大，因为我们基本上是瞄准这两个国家哈，因为这两个国家应该是提供最好的这种商科课程啊。美国大家可能都知道，比如说像哈佛、耶鲁等等这些学校，虽然他们不在本科期间有商学院，但是他们有很多跟商科相关的专业啊，比如说经济学呀等等等等啊。那当然，本科期间也有很多大学，知名的这些头部大学，本科期间就提供商学院，比如说沃顿，比如说康奈尔的这个Johnson Dyson School 等等这些啊。那我们加拿大非常top 的几个啊，我们一般讲 top four 啊，就是Western Ivy、UT Rodman， 然后 Queen's Commerce， 然后有人讲是 McGill， 有的人讲是 York Schulich， 不管了，反正大概就这个前4、前5名的这些都是非常 competitive， 所以我们在做整个的课程设计，包括做课程开发的时候，实际上最重要的一件事情就是帮助我们的孩子，帮助我们的学生更好的去让他们准备好，能够迎接这种大学申请的挑战。然后更多我们再往前再多看一步，如果你能进入到这些商学院，能够更好的准备好他们，让他们在这些商学院4年的学习当中，能够更快的确立自己将来未来的这种就业的优势。所以我们把这样的一个很具备挑战的工作交给了 Chris 跟 Jonathan 啊，那他们两个也跟我们想的一模一样啊，也非常愿意去接受这样的一个挑战啊，所以现在就是我们 Linky 的 business 整个的这个教研组是由他们2位来负责来牵这个头啊，从课程开发到最后教学工作。当然，教学工作不仅仅是他们两个，刚才我们讲了，还有像君瑶啊，或者像 Alex 啊这样的其他老师，好吧？所以大家如果对商科，我们还有很多很多东西需要讲啊，包括竞赛类，我们都很熟悉 DICA， 但是 DICA 绝对不是唯一的一个商科竞赛，还有很多其他的，像 LBLC。像 business case competition， 实际上有很多很多 case competition， 有 Western Ivy 的，有 UT Rodman 的，有其他的一些大学的。那我们 Linky 也在准备我们自己的 business case competition， Chris 实际上他们已经开始做这方面的工作。如果你的小孩在这个地方有兴趣你可以加入我们的这种 business case competition 的准备工作和组织工作啊。如果你是 Linky 的学生，我觉得这是一个非常好的一个你的 leadership 的一个锻炼的机会啊。当然在构建在你自己的这个商科的专业的基础上啊。然后除了 case competition 之外，还有比如说投资竞赛啦，像一些这种创业竞赛啊 entrepreneurship competition 等等，这些都是我们将来的这个 business department 要去覆盖和 cover 到的内容。所以 Chris 跟 Johnson 他们两个也面临非常大的这样的一个挑战当然也是一个非常 exciting 的 opportunity，right？那我也很希望大家能够给他们支持然后我们在这样的一个新的这样的一个形势面前尤其在 AI 这样的一个大的形势面前，我们与时俱进了，我们能把我们自己的这个商科课程能把它建设得更好，好吗？那么如果看看大家没有其他问题 ，there's no more questions。we can just wrap it up. And but always feel free to ask us questions through WeChat, email, phone calls, or maybe in person. And you can find Chris and Johnson in North York, Markham, and you can find me across all 3 campuses. You can find Junyao in Mississauga. Always we're welcome to your questions. Feel free to come in and have a chat with us， 好吗？有没有其他问题？如果没有其他问题 ，Chris，I think we can wrap it up。 Sorry, go ahead. Yes，
我想问一下，
可以讲。
比如说孩子的目标是上大学目标是美国的名校的商科的话，那高中选 AP program 呢，还是 IB program 呢，还是 Gifted program？哪种选择更有优势呢？
一定是前两个，一定是前两个，或者是 AP 或者是 IB 那 Gifted Program 它实际上它不是一个 curriculum。Gifted Program 在 Ontario 它执行的课程大纲应该是 OSSD，就是 Ontario Secondary School Diploma。它不是一个 curriculum，好吧？那如果你想让你自己的孩子将来可以去 pursue 美国的 top business school，我是非常建议你是 AP 或者 IB。
那 AP 和 IB 比，那哪一样更适合商科呢？
两个都很适合，这两个没有明显的说 AP 更适合或者 IB 更适合，两个都可以，但是这两个是有区别的哈。每一个学生有可能会有不同的这个个人的偏好了。那关于 AP 跟 IB 呢，我们也做过很多讲座来讲这两个大纲的标准化大纲的区别在哪里，分别更加的适合什么样的学生。那当然这个不是我们今天的讨论的重点啊，今天主要是我们讨论我们的 business program。
好的，谢谢您的建议。
好，没问题。如果你自己不是很清楚 AB 跟 IB 的这些区别，你可以下来再联系我们，好吧？你是在哪个校区啊？
我目前还没有参加这个 Kid 课，我正在看，打算就是给孩子报课。
可以啊，可以啊，你到时候你可以联系我们，好吗？3个校区你可以选一个适合你的或者离家近的。
好的，谢谢。
好，没问题。我们还有没有其他的问题？Are there any other questions? No, I think can we wrap it up here, Chris?
Hey, yeah, for sure. And just a reminder again, my door is always open. I'm here at Markham 6 days a week, so I am very, very available. Sure, if you have any questions, come ask me, come ask Jonathan, come ask Henry. We are always happy to answer questions and to clarify anything else that anyone might have. All right. So have a wonderful day, everybody. I'll let everybody go then. And yeah, we'll leave it there.
Thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Thank you, guys.
好，
Bye bye.
现在，没事。